Okay, so apologize for that. We have to pick up here. What I did is through each color I simplified what was the same on the top and the bottom, divide out common factors. And so my final answer, on top I only have a c to the 7th, so I have a negative c to the 7th, and on the bottom I have a 6a cubed b. So number 4, common factors again, negatives cancel out. There's a 5 on the bottom, and there's a 10 on the top, so 1 5 on the bottom, there are 2 5s on top, so there's a 2. Here there's a p cubed, there's 2 more on the bottom, so cancel those out, p squared on the bottom. T to the 4th on top, t squared, where is there more at? There's 2 more on top, so cancel those out. And then on the r's, there's just single r's, cancel those out. So on the top I have 2 t to the 4th over p squared, and that's my final answer. On number 5, you're going to add like terms, so g plus 2g is 3g. 5 plus 5 is, or excuse me, 5 plus 7 is 12. Make sure when you do subtraction you pay attention. 5d minus d is 4d. 5 minus 1 is positive 4. Combining like terms one last time, I'm going to do actually number 8 because it has lots of negatives going on. So a negative 2f squared minus a 2f squared, so negative 2 plus a 2 is 0. So 0f squared is just 0. Negative 3f minus a minus 3f, negative 3 plus 3f, 3f, negative 3f, however you want to think about it, is 0. So have no f squares, no f's. Negative 5 minus 8. My answer is negative 13. All right, multiplying. So the biggest thing about multiplying is you make sure you distribute to each part. However, on this problem number 10, you're going to take 2a minus 5m times 2a minus 5m, and you're actually going to distribute that out. On number 11, you're going to take 2x minus 3x, or sorry, 2x minus 3 times 2x minus 3, get that product, and then you're going to take that times 3x minus 5. Now, when you distribute and everything else, you need to do it however you want to do it. I know the rules, so I'm going to run the rule. So I'm going to have 4x squared minus 12x plus 9. That's the product of these two. And that's going to be times 3x minus 5. So multiplying here, 4x squared times 3x is 12x cubed. 4x squared times negative 5 is a negative 20x squared. Negative 12x times 3x is a negative 36x squared. Negative 12x times a negative 5 is a positive 60x. 9 times 3 is a 27x. 9 times negative 5 is a negative 45. So, combining like terms, 12x cubed, negative 20 minus 36, negative 56x squared. 60 plus a 27 is a 87x minus 45, and I did not write that down right. All right, that's the first part. So the second part, division. On the directions, you can only do synthetic on 15 through 18. So you can't use synthetic on 15. I changed my numbers on my questions. That should say 12 through 14. 12 through 14. So that's going to be changed. So on 12, 13, and 14, you can use synthetic. On 15, 16, 17, you cannot because I switched the order of them for some reason. Apologize about that. So I'm going to do actually number 14 and number 15. And number 18 I will set up, and number 19 I will do. So, with this, number 14, to start synthetic, take this and solve it for 0, so you get x equals negative 2. So I'd have negative 2 in the box. Going through coefficients, whatever my coefficients are, I have to account for every single step. So I have x to the 4th, x cubed, I need an x squared, I have an x and I have a number, so I have a 1, negative 3, I have no x squared, so I put a 0. 5, and negative 6. I'm going to drop down this first one because 1 plus 0 is 1. So this is 1. And then what you do is you take this number down here times this box. 1 times negative 2, put it in the next spot next to the arrow, and then I'm going to add. So negative 5. Negative 5 times negative 2 is 10. I'm going to add that. 10 times negative 2 is negative 20. 5 plus negative 20 is negative 15. Negative 15 times 20 is 30. Negative 6 plus 30 is 24. So I have a nice problem with a remainder. So I would write this out as x cubed minus 5x squared plus 10x minus 15 plus 24 over x plus 2. Number 15, longhand division. 2y plus 3. This is division because it's negative 1. Into 6y squared minus 5y minus 15. What times 2y gets me 6y squared? 3y. You take 3y times 2y, you get 6y squared. You take 3y times 3 plus 9y. So what we're going to do is now subtract. So I'm going to bring in a different color. So I'm going to make this a plus, minus, and this becomes a minus. So now I have canceling here. Negative 5y minus 9 is a negative 14y. Bring down the 15. What times 2y gets you negative 14y? Negative 7. Negative 7 times 2y is a negative 14y. Negative 7 times 3 is a negative 21. Going to subtract once again. Changing signs, distribute it, so that becomes a plus, that becomes a plus, that becomes a plus. So negative 15 plus 21 is 6. So I have a remainder of plus 6 over 2y plus 3. And that's your final answer. So setting up number 18. Number 18, if you're doing longhand division, which you need to do, or the box method, you have to account for the parts that are missing. And if you don't, it gets kind of confusing. 4p to the 4th minus 17p squared plus 14p minus 3. Since I didn't put the cubed in there, cubed is going to fall out in here, so you just got to pay attention. So a lot of you I found yesterday were not doing that, so I'm going to do it without that, but if you put the placeholder in there, stuff lines up nicer. So 2p times what gets me 4p to the 4th? That's going to be 2p cubed. So 2p cubed times the 2p is 4p to the 4th minus 6p cubed. Now, don't have a 6p cubed here, so I'm going to change my signs just because some of you guys need to see that. So, excuse me, 0 p3s are up here, so 0 plus 6 becomes a 6p3. So I have 6p3, and then I need to bring down that 17p squared. It makes it a lot nicer if you have the holes that are not shown in your equation, so everything lines up nicely. 2p times what gets me 6p cubed? 3p squared. 6p cubed minus 9p squared. Remember to multiply both parts over here. Change your signs. So negative 17 plus 9 is a negative 8p squared plus 14p. And then you keep continuing the problem. Alright, so because I'm out of room right now, I'm going to stop. And I'm going to move over to 19. Also want to make sure that we can get information out here. This problem is division. There is no adding or subtracting, so what you're going to do is you're going to just take each part and divide it by 6ab. And then what you're going to do is you're going to simplify it for whatever problem that you have, and whatever answer you get, just leave it as is. So b's cancel out, b's cancel out, a's cancel out for that part. This a cancels with this a squared, so I have an a on top. And this b cancels with this b squared, so I have just a b on top. So rewriting my problem, I have 4a over 6 minus 26 over 6 plus 54b over 6. The first one becomes 2a over 3. 26 and 6 will share 2, so minus 13 thirds. Plus, these both share a 6, 9b. And the blue part is your final answer. So that video should help you with your practice quiz.